But if you're going to be a $20 bill and you jump to 100, you're going to be held accountable to be a $100 bill for the rest of your life. Or as long as you know me. So if I see Vlad as 1,000% and the next day something's bothering Vlad, right? I can understand. We'll talk it out. We'll see if there's a problem. But if there is no problem, I am going to hold you accountable to be the best that you can possibly be. Right? And especially in times of opportunity.
Welcome to the Echo of Vlad podcast. If you want to have deep conversation about life, God, relationship, tough topics, anything we come up with, but most of all, having a real honest conversation, dropping a few gems along the way. I'm here with the Manhood series. And for the Manhood series, I had to come in with somebody, like, I really admire this man. This man have been thick and through with me for sure. Like, for the past, 4 years of college, 4 years of high school, for the past 8 years, this man has been in my corner for, like, constantly, game upon game. But let me introduce you to Nigel Dodds, my day one for sure. How's it going?
Chilling, bro, chilling.
How's it going?
Happy to be here, man.
Hey, man, look, I haven't seen this dude, seen in person. We've always been communicating. Seen this dude since 2020, before the pandemic. The panhandle. There we go. How's it been?
Man, just working hard, making money, you know.
That's what adulthood has come to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But how's it going with you, man?
Life's been decent. Many changes in my life. Ever since we last met, you got the whole thing going on, man.
Hey, man, I'm not mad at all.
Absolutely crazy, man. But yeah, just working hard, working on myself more importantly, and just figuring out what this whole life thing is all about, bro.
Oh, yeah, man. Life in general is going to kick you in the balls.
Yes, sir.
This is Manhood discussion?
Unadulterated.
Wait.
No mercy.
No mercy, man. We've had some dope times, some dope conversations.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. You'd come in and check on how I was doing and vice versa, and we'd keep in touch, you know?
Keep in touch, but for real, even before COVID, like literally day in and day out with each other.
Yeah. Like
seeing you every day, this is pretty much like, I got a lot of twins, but this is one of my like twins day in and day out with this dude.
Twizzy, bro.
Bro, we've had some arguments. We had times we almost fought.
We've had debates.
We've had full-on debates where people like, you about to throw blows or something? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I remember one time we were hanging out. It was me, you, and our friend Genesis. Shout out to Genesis. I remember after I was hanging out with her, she was like, I thought you guys were about to fight. Like, what? It was like another Tuesday for us. Mm-hmm. And it's just like that brotherhood like we have in the past years. The airplane. But that brotherhood we've had in the past years, it's really transformed something in my life for sure. But you definitely had a good impact on who I was.
Likewise, man. Likewise.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When I first met Nigel, y'all not gonna like me for this, but the first time I met you, I lied to you.
About what?
About who I was.
About who you were. Elaborate.
I remember exactly where it was. Like, we were in the lunch line at DCS. Shout out to Doctor's Charter. We're there, right? And this is my first or second day on like the camp on the school, right?
Right.
New to school and everything.
9th grade.
Yeah. This man comes to me. Hey, what's up, Vladimir? How's it going? Like, he knows me from somewhere, right? And for me, I'm like, hey, let's just go with it, right? And then you introducing me to somebody else, like, yeah, this is Vladimir. I knew him since elementary. I was like, wait, hold on. I have not known. I just met you, but here you are introducing me to somebody else, as somebody from elementary, and I was like, oh, let's go with it.
I know exactly who that is too.
Exactly. I don't know when you found out that I wasn't that same Vladimir, but the energy never changed.
Never. Like,
this man, literally from the first second he met me, without even know it, just like the same brotherhood energy was right there. I admire that about you, bro. I really do.
Of course, man. I got you, bro. I got you.
But what do you think about your journey, or the journey in general, going from boyhood to manhood? Because that's something I'm really trying to always talk about.
I can tell you this much: it wasn't planned, right? The whole scenario of boy becomes man through fatherhood lessons, through someone they know. It's all far-fetched. Mm-hmm. When it comes to life will throw interpretations of what it could be to be the ideal man, but it's not going to be given to you written in black and white. Every opportunity you have to absorb information from others, You really have to be open-minded about that. And I believe on my journey to become who I was and who I am today, I really had to reconsider things. I had to keep an open mind about people I didn't like, ideas I didn't like, and so on and so forth.
It's really what you just said, like keep an open mind about things that you may not like. And I know that's something that's always trying for people I've seen throughout life whatsoever. It's not just how they address when things are going good, but how when things are going bad. Mm-hmm. Like something like you may not like whatsoever. You just maybe have to probably get through your thick skull, like, this gotta be done. I don't care who it is, like, it gotta be done. Or I may not like this person or what they gotta put, but hey, we got something to do, we gotta do it.
Say it again, boys. Say it again for the people in the back. There's no, I can't agree with that anymore. It's like night and day, and especially through my line of work. It's, if someone has a disagreement, we don't have time for that, right? Set differences aside. Try to de-escalate any situation and just get through it, man.
You've always been like observing you throughout our like journey as being bros. You've always been like a de-escalator, but if something escalated, you've always been that person like, yo, I'm ready for it. I don't like to lie to you. Like we've been in some spots where it's like, yeah, things about to pop off a little bit. Not crazy, not very crazy pop off. Relax. But
let the milk boil. It is gonna boil out the pan.
I'm sorry. Milk boil what?
Oh yeah. So okay, culinary term, right? When you boil milk, it will run over. It will literally run over the pot, right? So if you go through any culinary kitchen that's using whole milk and say, you need to move out my way, I've got milk on the stove, they'll move right out of your way. They will. And if they don't, you've got a whole mess you got to clean up.
Interesting, because I would never piece together the two words, boiling milk. I would never put those two words ever together.
Oh yeah, sure, for different recipes when they call for it. But now you've got a little project to do after the podcast.
Okay. I like it.
Boil it and see how long it takes to boil over.
I like it. But what I was saying about like being not afraid to like wherever it goes, it's so people call it like even kill. That's something that I've observed from you a lot, honestly. It's a dynamic. I'm not gonna lie to you. I might be the risk taker in this friendship right here. I might be the one who's more boisterous. The more you'll hear me before you know me. He's the more like you'll know him before you actually talk to him.
I agree. In some cases, like close friends or whatever, it's completely flipped.
It's completely flipped.
But you get to know me, the more genuine you become with me, the more questions you ask, the more involved you get with me, and I'll attempt to reciprocate. You know what I'm saying? If I see you're making the effort, I'll make the effort as well.
Got you. I mean, it's always been a dynamic of maybe, the infamous introvert and extrovert. Mm-hmm. Definitely you guys can already tell who's who. But we definitely have to times like meeting different people, like, at date or whatsoever. People like literally seeing us together, like these practically brothers at this point.
Hand to glove.
Honestly. Bro. And we've met some people, we've been in some spaces before, and it's always been inspiring. But that path of brotherhood, you're like, when I think about our friendship, it's always been the concept of iron sharpening iron. Like you probably brought out a lot about me that I probably didn't even know. Like some people, they kind of demand you be they demand excellence from you. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie to you, you do that for me for sure. Definitely something like, yo, I can't be lackadaisical. I can't be not on it when I'm around Nigel. That's something I've definitely felt inside. What about you?
Well, for me, every time we were around each other,
mm-hmm.
I felt, oh my God, there's the opportunity for Vlad to go do something. Be more of himself.
Yep.
Be 1,000% more than what he's doing right now. And I'll just go. Go do it.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I'm like that is because people around me, other than you, act like that. And I've seen what it does for them when it's done constructively in a healthy environment. It's not like I'm going to tell you, oh, there's something bad over there, it's reckless, YOLO, go do it. No, that's horrible, bro.
Nah.
If it's like, if I really see you're yearning to wanting to go do it, and there's You're not taking accountability that there's sometimes you only got one chance to do it.
Yo, for sure.
I'd be like, Vlad, you gotta go. Go
Go
do it.
He wouldn't take
no time to reconsider. Just go do it.
Yo, and you wouldn't take no for an answer though.
Oh no.
Like you wouldn't like, nah, I'm shy about this. Nah, he's like, no, go do it, whatever.
I'll hold your hand if I need to.
I'll be damned.
Hey, my friend over there, he likes you. Yeah, man. Sometimes you just gotta go do it.
Yo, that's for sure the truth. Like you pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I could definitely go back in those spots and like completely am proud of myself for going to do it.
Right.
Like actually accepting it. And for sure, that's something you've pushed me out like through all my times of being a friend, throughout high school, college, and whatsoever. Like honestly, I think that's one part of manhood that's extremely needed. People in your corner who is not going to accept you being just mediocre.
Right.
And I'll say, at least for you and the people we around, like for sure, that's the main thing. Like we don't accept, like you don't accept. Hey yo, I'm scared about doing this. Or I'm shy about doing this. What do you think about that?
Feeling some type of way, if you have some type of doubt, and you refer to someone, and in this case, manhood, you refer to your brother, your best friend for life. Hey, I'm having trouble contemplating about this. I don't have a direct answer for myself. That's the perfect opportunity you should take with your brothers. And in this case, if you were to come up with me with a question, it has to be a direct answer. There's no beating around the bush. There's no, oh, let's reconsider, let's this and that, sleep on it. No. We got to discuss it now. And whatever you're feeling at that certain time, if you feel as if you're doubting yourself, even with the answer you were given, all right, reconsider. And if you do doubt yourself, then I don't think it's the right place or time to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And not just doubt, but like half-heartedness too.
Right.
Like one thing I could say, like being around you, like our friendship, is like there's no real space for half-hearted effort.
No.
Like if I'm like even with the podcast, it's like, man, if I want to do it, I gotta do it.
He is not lying, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, and having friends around you that I like to say they don't accept you being mediocre.
Right.
But another important fact of accountability, or the other side of accountability people don't take after, is like people who don't accept you demeaning yourself or downing yourself whatsoever. Right. Which is something like you've inspired in me a lot. Speak to that a little bit though.
Go ahead, repeat it one more time.
I'm gonna say it like this, right? Because I have this quote that said, when somebody loves you, they're not okay with you letting. Let me read this real quick.
All right, gotcha.
It says, when someone loves you, they will not be okay with letting you diminish what you are worth.
Okay, I see it right here. When someone loves you, they will not be okay with letting you diminish what you are worth.
And that's something I picked up from you a lot.
All right.
Like, you never okay with me just like, oh, no, I'm not feeling it, or I'm not like this. Like, you'll quickly call me out for, like, doubting myself too much.
Right. I understand that someone will give off a certain level or energy of themselves, right? And that's what you'll be placed as. But if you're going to be a $20 bill and you jump to 100, you're going to be held accountable to be a $100 bill for the rest of your life. Or as long as you know me. So if I see Vlad as 1,000% and the next day something's bothering Vlad, right? I can understand. We'll talk it out. We'll see if there's a problem. But if there is no problem, I am going to hold you accountable to be the best that you can possibly be.
Right.
Right? And especially in times of opportunity. Let's say if you're feeling down and you haven't it's something of ventilation. You need to talk about it. You need answers. And there's people in your life that will either give you those answers or help you find them. Right? And considering performance throughout the day, if you're stuck contemplating about things and you're at your all-time low, so to speak, there's no way you can get things done.
Right.
So when I hold you to that standard, I hold myself accountable for making sure that you're able to perform at that level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when, if Vlad is a guy who has a heart of gold, right? If I see it's being tarnished by something or someone, got to make sure that's squashed, man, because there's no way a man can go throughout his life with problems on his back and not take care of them and perform at the best he can be.
Yeah.
It's already hard enough that us men, we have to huddle everything inside and go about day-to-day life. Like, questions won't have answers the moment you realize you have problems.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, a lot of it can be diminished through just talking to that brother, making sure, I am my brother's keeper. We've said that a lot.
Yo,
we said that a lot.
You bringing that to the back in the days with brothers to brother, yo.
Yeah, man.
That's like...
Tell them what that was, man. Tell them what that was.
Man, Brothers to Brother was an organization, for sure. Not a club, or an organization. Shout out to Mr. Washington. But it's definitely like an initiative for dudes to recognize their worth and act on it, and other people to hold them up.
Yeah.
And I think that inspired us both a lot. Like, even our friendship towards that, Minorities of the Future as well. Like, it takes, like, the friendship or kind of like the value of it takes root in so many different ways, and it leads you throughout life. And that's one big important part of manhood. Not just you being a man, but being surrounded by other men. Being surrounded by other, like, boys who are on the strive towards manhood. It really makes a difference.
It's a journey you can't take alone.
Yeah.
It most certainly is. And I read somewhere that if you have a brother, that brother is the man in your life that you should be holding accountable, right? And vice versa. If you don't have a biological brother, you need to find a brother, right? And I've heard that a lot. And sometimes my biological brothers, they're not on that same energy that I am, right? When I come to them for a specific problem, they either haven't dealt with it themselves or they're not as knowledgeable about it. Right. That's where mentors come in. Right. That's where Vlad comes in, right? If I have a computer question, I'm going to Vlad. I'm not going to someone that I just don't know.
Right.
Right? If I've got a moral, ethical question, or if Vlad has a moral, ethical question that involves some insight, someone who he can trust, he can either fall on myself or someone that he knows that is of the same standard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's having people in different, like, fields of knowledge or field of, like, relations,
right,
that you can always go back and pinpoint stuff with.
Yeah. Because
it's very needed. Like, you don't need what they call an echo chamber. You don't need somebody who's gonna just completely agree with what you say, or somebody who's gonna take what you say and just, like, take it at face value as, like, just law as whatsoever. You need some people who are gonna challenge you.
Exactly.
And that's something that I've seen in you and our dynamic. We've always been challenging each other.
Right.
Many different ways.
Yeah.
It's very, how do I say? It's like, when you see something that you've gone through, and you see somebody who hasn't gone through it, and it's almost like clear as day.
Right.
Like, I've seen that a bit with some people. Like, some people, they don't have those people who challenge them. Or how they respond to challenges is much different because they're not used to opposition. They're not used to somebody, like, saying, hey, nah, I don't think that's it, or like, you need to flesh that out a bit more.
Right. And I've thought about that a lot, actually. And in this day and age, compared to, let's say, a handful of decades ago, the challenges a man has now when growing up to be a mature man are a lot different from back then. The challenges now are financial security, making sure you're financially free at a certain age, if you want to have a family, looking for a significant other. All of those have different requirements in order to attain them now.
Right.
I won't go into depth because that's a whole different topic.
Different rabbit hole.
You know what I'm saying? But making sure that you have someone keeping you on the right track at all times, holding you accountable for just making sure you're the best you could be, and even if they're miles away, phone.
Yeah.
This is like the gatekeeper right here. You know what I'm saying? Vlad and I have had numerous conversations. This is the first time we've met for years. Yeah, it's been years, man.
2 years
straight.
It's
been years, and we're not going to let distance divide that, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, for sure. Like, I remember in my first podcast episode with Kyle, I said that there's some dudes like my, like, sibling type friends.
Right.
I've not talked to them or seen them in person, like, for years.
Yeah.
Like, my episode with Caleb or my episode with Darbins, I have not seen those dudes in, like, years, for sure.
Absolute years.
But when I get in person with them, it's like we never left.
Exactly.
And, bro, I love those type of relationships. I really do.
It's the energy, bro. You throw it, I throw it right back.
Yo!
Throw it right back. Lob it up. bring it down.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the same dynamic. I'm sure people who saw us together be like, before COVID whatsoever, be like, yeah, same dynamic whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like what I tell you all the time. God knew what he was doing when he decided to give us to different moms and not have us as biological brothers. We would be too much to handle, man.
We cannot be biological brothers because that would be different for the world, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah, man.
But it's always about that person who brings out that side of you.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to that conversation, let's go to commercial real quick. If you're having a good conversation, tell me what you think about so far. But let's go to commercial. We'll see you right back.
It's definitely not right now.
For anyone that's worked in the gym before.
I can tell you hundreds of stories about working in the gym.
So you see a lot of people, they get their memberships immediately. You know, I'm about to work out, I'm about to get the dream body, boom, boom, boom. How long does that last?
You want me to be real honest?
Be real.
Want to be real honest with you?
Be real.
About maybe 2 to 3 days.
Wow.
See, I didn't think it was going to be that
Straight from the horse's mouth.
As a person who worked in the gym, I can confidently say almost 80% of people, 70 to 80%, they don't make it past the first month. And it sucks. It sucks for different financial reasons, but it's like I'm used to seeing, like you said, that like honeymoon phase of people being excited for the thing, or excited for this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. Then January 3rd, they already slipped. We're back with this conversation, and I'm loving this conversation because something you've brought out of me, like honest extroversion, in a sense. Like I realize how much I love, kind of getting to know people or just jumping into situation. Sometimes I'm a little bit brash with them, a little bit, kind of put the cart before the horse. But you could definitely attest to that sometimes.
Yes, sir.
But for sure, like being around you for the past years of my life, it's definitely brought out that sense of loving to get into a new situation whatsoever.
Right.
Like that feeling when you push me into a situation, nah. And then go into this conversation or go into this place. It's like, all right, bet, guess I'm here now. I gotta figure out. But going back to those places, at least in those spots in my mind, it's like I recognize those experiences and I love those experiences. There's something I really thank you for.
I appreciate that, bro.
And probably likewise. I'll probably push you into a situation what is Vlad doing now?
Oh yeah, man. What is Vlad doing?
That's a big question. Goodness. I don't know. I used to just talk to people randomly, and then you just be come up behind me and just insert yourself into the conversation and just be flowing like you were just there.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
Most definitely. I'm around someone that I trust, and I'm pretty sure this person that I'm about to talk to, I can probably eventually learn to trust them as well. So there's no boundary that's going to stop me from speaking my mind, and it's not like I'm saying gibberish just to say anything. If there's a conversation, I'm going to put my best words in. I'm going to add to the conversation. I'm not going to just aimlessly just start ranting. Yeah, man.
Yo, for sure. And I remember this one time in high school, senior breakfast. I don't know if you remember this conversation.
Oh yeah, I heard it. Oh, wait. Cart before the horse. Let me see where this is going.
But I remember the senior breakfast, I was trying to take pictures and stuff like that, and things weren't working out, and I was extremely down on myself at that moment.
Right.
And I remember you not being okay with that. You literally kind of checking me in a sense. Yo, you kind of reminded me your worth. I remember talking to my friend Dartmouth. Sometimes you gotta talk your talk a little bit, right? And you kind of brought that on me. You got you gotta recognize who you are. You're probably the best person for this or this, that, and the third. And you not allowing me to be talking down to myself really impacts me a whole lot. What do you think?
Yeah, because when you're alone, that is a very dangerous thing, especially for a man. And not speaking for all men out there, I'm a victim of it myself. It's either if you don't accomplish something you've set out months, years to do, and it doesn't go your way, of course you'll get caught up in the moment and be like, damn, it could have went better, I could have done this, I could have done that. But you can't let that just coincide with your life day in and day out. It's very unhealthy. Of course there's ways to release that emotion, that stress. And what helps is just talking to that brother that you have, you know.
Yo, for sure. And like sometimes like sometimes you need venting sessions, but it's important to have people in those venting sessions like holding you accountable.
Of course.
Like honestly, like even though like we've had our venting sessions whatsoever, but you've never allowed me to like just like vent aimlessly whatsoever. Yeah. I've never allowed it from you and the boys that we around.
Right.
We don't really allow each other to just talk our talk for no reason whatsoever. Like sometimes I feel like our venting sessions, you either come out with like a plan of action, clarity, or accountability.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to piggyback off that. There's always something I tell the kids I work with at work. When I'm at work, some of the kids will come in and be like, oh, I did this at school today and this, that, and the third. And, oh, there was a big problem at school. And I'm like, well, did someone provide an answer to that problem? They say, yeah. And I said, well, did they provide a solution? They go, Nigel, what the heck is that? And I'm like, well, this is what I do to everyone that I consider my brother. If they have a problem, they come to me with it. I provide an answer and a solution, right? If Vlad doesn't know what he wants to do in life and he's got a whole bunch of things on his board, Nigel, I don't know where to go from here. I'll be like, all right, you know, if you're looking for, let's say, example, we've talked about this a couple of times. We talked about it in the car on the way here. Finding a line of work.
Right.
So I always tell him, have your occupation mirror your profession, right? So if you're big into photography, you're big into the whole cinema scene. If you want to perfect your craft, but you don't have the time to do that, you know, what not better way to do it than through finding a line of work that sharpens your skills in the background, behind the scenes. And that's one way that I provide the answer. But to provide the solution, hey, Vlad, this person's hiring, this person's hiring, this person's hiring, get at them, right? You're not going to go walk over it to your neighbor and be like, oh, your house is on fire. All right, there's the answer. Where's the solution? Oh, your house is on fire. Here's a bucket of water, right? Yeah. At least you're helping towards constructing something better. Right.
And even if you don't have a solution, you're like, yo, you're letting that person know, like, this is the answer, this is not where it stops.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that we've always been boys with.
Every day.
Like, you may have this problem was over. Okay, this is explanation for it. But where do you go after that?
Exactly.
And, like, even like people at work or people, like, you meet around, it's always been something that you recognize that you have, but other people, not pretty much other people don't.
Right.
But you recognize when people aren't used to that level of, like, yo, I got to get on it. And it's extremely necessary.
Right. And what I'm thankful for is I've actually had people in my life that would actually show me what that is in real time. And seeing it so much and so frequently and from so many of my people that I look up to, it's like, why am I not doing it? Right. And as soon as I saw Vlad, I'm like, it's go time. Let me see how this works.
You know what kind of I'm glad you said that, because you know what kind of like that least make me think of it?
What?
Brother to brother.
Brother to brother.
Because you cannot walk into that room without like some plan of action of what you're doing. Like you get caught out for sure.
If you're missing a sock, if you're missing a tie, if you're missing your jacket, if your tie is not tied right, oh yes.
Yo, those Tuesdays when we had to dress up,
dress for success,
those were inspiring.
Very.
Because like, if you come in just like not knowing what you're doing or not like looking like you don't belong, it's easy like you standing out. It's like it's the fun part of like having people who are killing it, and you have no reason whatsoever not to.
Yeah, especially when you've got all those brothers holding you accountable, and if you ever needed help on making sure you are dressed for success, you've got a whole group chat. Right. You've got individual numbers to call. You had 2 mentors. You had your best friend that was there.
Exactly.
There was no excuse not to dress like $1 million every Tuesday, or every other Tuesday.
And I don't know, just being around dudes who are doing it.
That energy,
bro, it transfers. That thing transfers for sure.
That energy for sure, yes.
And then like having that, I have to really thank God for this, because having that brotherhood, having that mentality, and then that being carried on to college.
Of course.
With Minorities of the Future. That was like another extension of it.
It was literally the next level.
Right, for sure.
The next level.
And it's interesting because it's like you kind of see the same values of, committing to excellence.
Right.
Like being around dudes who are like committed to excellence. I'm killing it or trying to do it, right?
Right.
That's something that, at least in my life, has helped me a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mr. Core, Mr. Washington, Mr. Arjona, Mr. Daly, for sure. All these like mentors, but also people who are constantly under.
Mm-hmm.
Like, although these are mentors I'm looking up to, I'm doing life side by side with you.
Exactly.
So it's something that like improves you exponentially as a dude.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
What I just thought about it now. It's like once you realize that, in order for all these things to happen, of course, someone would have needed to talk to someone in order for it to happen.
Yeah.
Right. And once that does happen, you end up building this tribe, right? And I'm gonna stick on this topic for a little bit. You end up building this tribe of trustworthy men that get you through the endeavors that you need to get through in order to be successful at whatever you're trying to shoot for, right? But all of it does not begin until you take that initiative to see who your brother really is. Again, sorry, another discussion. But just making sure that you're giving accountability for yourself to make sure there are other people around you who are doing the same for you. You know what I'm saying? Having that inner circle, having those elder men in your life, making sure that once you've got an understanding of how to do that, you're reciprocating to the younger generation, to your little cousins, little brothers, people that were a grade under you, making sure that, this is what I stand for, this is what I represent. If you want to be a part of that, hop along. Or if you're given that opportunity just to make sure that they're okay, or making sure that everything is right, make sure every bell and whistle of their being is ready and good to go. And it's like, all right, are you ready? Yeah, and the third. And they'll remember that. Sometimes they won't think upon it. I'm speaking about the younger generation. They'll think upon it. They won't give it any much thought until the same situation happens again.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? I remember this guy, Vlad. Vlad made sure I was doing everything right. You know what? Let me hit up Vlad. They hit you up on the cell phone. Hey, Vlad, I'm about to do an interview, right? Or I'm about to go up on stage. Do you think everything's appropriate? Or, hey, Vlad, I'm recording this for class. Do you think this background suits what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Does everything seem professional? Just making sure that you hold yourself accountable and the people around you. That's what honestly makes my world go round.
Yeah, for sure. And it speaks to that point what you just said about like kind of verifying or getting to know that brother that's beside you, because through our like years of being thick and thin with each other, we're like day in and day out. Like I'm doing assignments next to this dude who's like a completely different major from me.
Right.
And then like you check him like, hey, what you doing right here? Oh, that try this on this. I'm like, yo, and then it works.
Yeah, man.
And then I'm like constantly like not interviewing per se, but getting to know somebody on a deeper level without even knowing it.
Yeah.
With that carried through life. And it sometimes like tracks back to like, sometime in high school, middle school, whatsoever, those kids you never knew you'd interact with, you never knew you'd benefit from interacting with.
Oh yeah.
But placed in those situations, you just flourish from it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I feel like high school and primary and secondary school, there are those outgoing boys, outgoing young men that they'll find a place for themselves. They'll be social, they'll be outgoing, they'll be athletic, they'll take part in their community, right? And I feel as if there's an aspect of it that has to do with, parenting, how they're raised, whatever. But another side that no one teaches you is that the other side of being outgoing, making sure you have accountable friends, that all comes from you. And I was very oblivious to it at the beginning. I did it because if I would have done something when I was a kid, I would have done it because my elder brothers did it. I would have done it because it was asked of me. I would have done it, or I would have got a whooping, right? So just conforming to something in the right place in the right time. And I feel as if the young boys to men organizations that I did end up participating in
Right.
just helped me realize that this is something I need to be a part of, especially as a man.
Yo.
Right? Because you're not given a blueprint at a young age of, all right, this is how to be a man, this is how you got to do it from day one. It's not given. If so, everyone would be either well off or, the community around you would just be more prosperous. And I will say that, and I'll keep it at that. I won't elaborate.
Not just more prosperous, but like literally people you're day in and day out with.
Right.
Because it's not just like let's take it back to like medieval times, right? If I'm living by you, you're not just like a person. Okay, you're in the neighborhood.
Right.
Yo, I may need to do work with you. Yo, I need something in the backyard. I'm gonna need help with you.
Right.
If I need, you got this. You got some milk.
Of course.
Yo, can I borrow some milk real quick?
I see. You have your chicken from last couple of months. I gotta feed a whole family.
Yo, for real. And it's like doing business, doing life with people along the way.
Right.
And you get to get more acclimated. Your values start to impact each other. The things that you're doing, the things that you hold yourself to, start to get woven in together.
Exactly. And I feel as if society does that, but you really need to look at it day in and day out. You got to conform yourself to spot that in the real world. Society, like, for example, let's say an office building. Everyone's got their responsibilities in that building, from the accountants to the CEO, the vice president, to the janitor, to the receptionist, to the customer, to the people who just swing by the office. The delivery man that delivers the paper to the building or whatever. Everyone has their responsibilities, and that can be used on a grand scale to look at everything, to analyze everything.
Right.
And bringing it back to primitive times, if we're in a tribe and you're my neighbor, you're like 2 huts down, right? And there's a neighboring tribe that's looking for territory, I got to put my differences aside.
Yo.
I got to be like, yo, we about to get run through. Get your spear. If you ain't got one, I got one for you. You know what I'm saying? We have to.
He's Trini, I'm Haitian, so we got machetes for sure.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. So you have to have that mindset when going into just living out your day-to-day life. You can't just close yourself off to your neighbors, your loved ones, your family. Not only is it not going to help you in the long run, it's not going to help them, because they might end up providing answers to a problem you had years ago. You have to be open. You've got to wear your heart on your sleeve sometimes.
Yeah. And
that's what I meant in the beginning when I said you have to be optimistic and open-minded, even to things that you don't like. Sometimes, I blame it on just me being me, but there are times where I would just offer ideas, and people be like, "No, that's just horse crap." And I'll go, "Oh, well, why is it?" Instead of, "Oh, how dare you?" Da 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 da. No, you need to figure out why. When you figure out why, you can put yourself in those shoes.
Exactly.
When you put yourself in those shoes, you're able to understand things more. You have a broader perception of things. You never want to be narrow-minded, especially when it comes to holding people accountable. You don't want to teach someone just one way.
Yeah.
Okay, it's understandable if you want to teach someone the best way that you figured out because it's helped for you. Let's see if it helps for someone else. But when you're considering problem solutions, you end up building a repertoire, or let's say itinerary of skills, of different approaches that you can help someone by just listening to other people.
Yeah.
I know that was a lot, but
no, it speaks to it, because one thing I love, like I've developed this love for this throughout, high school, but college and working at the gym for sure. Like getting to know people, like having deep, full-on conversations with people I would never see again.
Right.
Like I love having deep conversation with people and I never get their name whatsoever.
Right. You never see them again. What is there to lose? Just don't make enemies.
Right. But then also the kind of maybe the exciting part of it, because you don't know who you might like interact with.
And what information they have in store.
And you don't know how much they may impact you.
Right.
Because sometimes like you might come in this conversation like, yeah, I'll never see this person again, but next thing you know, they're on my phone list.
Exactly.
Like for sure, like something.
You're your friend for life.
Yo, for sure. And there's been definitely people in college like that.
Oh yeah, that's what college is built off of.
Yo, Hey, you got the. You know how to do the homework. You know how to. Let's study for this test real quick.
Right.
Next thing you know, y'all boys for life. For
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, you getting lunch next Friday? I'm with you. We there.
bro.
We there.
I remember there was plenty of times where it's like, yo, you want something to eat? And then the chicken spot right across the street from it.
The chicken spot.
Yeah, that was a spot. I'm not gonna lie
The
to
chicken spot.
you. Man.
Unbelievable. But Vlad, I think you're right, man. Oh my goodness! Before I forget,
Well,
I drew a blank.
No. Because I want to have the conversation with you, but before that conversation, we got to go to commercial one more time. We got to go to commercial, but then we're going to be right back. Sit tight real quick.
When I mean comparative joy, if you have a sense of a jealousy or some type of animosity towards the thing you're actually looking at,
Exactly.
that's when it's a red flag.
Some type of dislike, some type of hatred.
Like if I see someone with a lamb, I'm like, dang. You like, not even just I'm like, dang. You like should be in a Yoda. Why you in a lamb? What made you get into a lamb and I'm not in a lamb? That's a red flag right there. Or instead of like, dang, that's a nice lamb.
Exactly.
Maybe that could be me one day and put in that.
And that goes back to the why not?
So we are back. But there's one conversation, because we kind of alluded to it. There's many spots in like our friendship where it's like, especially in college, it was like, yo, you hungry? It was like, yeah, I'm hungry, but I don't got no money at the moment. It was like, I didn't ask that. And that's like, for real, our friendship.
I didn't ask that at all.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you were hungry. If you said yes, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
It don't matter if it was a chicken spot. It was like Kevin. Let's not call it Kevin. That place was amazing.
Yeah, for what it was and for the location of it, you know, we went to school at Miami-Dade College, and there's no Publix, there's no grocery, there's no Whole Foods, so it's really landlocked with a limited amount of places to get food, right? So there was a place, it was a mom and pop, right across the street. They served food we were familiar with, and we smelled smells that reminded us of home. What not better thing to eat on a Friday afternoon?
This sounds like a commercial.
Of course. Gotta advertise it, man. Gotta advertise it. Place was really good, man. And when it came down to who was hungry, honestly, it really didn't matter. If you were hungry, let's go. And if it were a sense of, all right, I'll cover the whole bill, Vlad would be like, all right, next time we go out, I'll cover it.
Yeah.
I'll cover it. You know, I don't hold him accountable to be financially stable for both of us.
Yeah.
It's just something that happened. If you're hungry, I'm going to make sure I hold myself accountable that you get fed, right? And especially when it's just us against a whole new chapter in our lives, and we don't know people, we don't know who to trust, we don't know who to rely on but each other.
Yeah.
Right?
I ain't gonna lie to you, it's something about that, because I talk to my friends, I talk to some family, like, and I realize, like, sometimes you have times in life where it's like, you know, it's you and that person against maybe this situation, like you just said, that new chapter in life,
Right.
and that really builds bonds between people.
Exactly.
Like some people, even with like literal siblings, like sometimes it's them and them against like maybe a high school, middle school, elementary, whatsoever, and that builds them together.
Right.
Like all of those challenges kind of make men. I saw this thing on TikTok. I wish I could reference it, but they deleted the video. They said that men bond over stress.
Oh yeah.
First, not with the stressor, but they bond over stress.
Of
Like
course.
if we're going to if we have to fight somebody, right? For some reason, after we fight them, not saying that we jump somebody, but I'm saying after that would happen, we'll be much closer. Like you could be a complete stranger.
Or even if we fight each other. Differences are, look, the beef is squashed,
Right.
the hatchet is buried, we shake hands, we go each other's way. Of course, nowadays that can't be said. Because if you try to fight someone off the street, chances are you get holes.
Yeah.
You're getting holes in you.
Yeah.
So, you know, on a very mature setting between man and man, if there is a... I don't know if it was you that sent me this or you sent it to me, but there was... God bless him. I don't remember his name. But he was a gentleman. He's famous for his wit and his knowledge. If I find his name, I'll get back to you. But he said...
Yeah, good.
So he said that every conversation and debate men have with each other are founded by violence. So there's always a level of violence behind it, right? And going into it a bit more, if there is a debate between two men, and chances are that they're going to keep disagreeing, there's that level of violence that could ensue.
Yes.
That keeps the conversation civil.
I know exactly
right?
what you're talking about.
Okay.
And I know exactly who said it.
Yeah. So that in of itself keeps that level of maturity and just respect for one another at bay.
Yes.
Right? There are some times where someone will be either emotionally compromised or they are just acting too negligent to see beyond that fact. Because knowing other men, you know, I'm not going to fight another man just because. There has to be probable cause.
Right.
Right? There's no way I'm going to be upset just because over something you said. Right? Those are words. I can live past words, you know. Like physical contact, you can't take that back. There's no socking somebody in the face and be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No. There's no way. You have to hold yourself accountable.
Right.
And not only that, the decisions you make.
And when those like decisions become like materialize, like you just said, you can't take back a punch.
Nope.
Of course, you can't take back words, but like words are unfortunately words.
Yeah, words are words.
But I remember this time working at the gym, right? This was during the time like COVID times, where you had to like tell people to wear masks and stuff like that. Some dudes didn't want to wear masks.
Right.
Sometimes like what kind of kept the respect level there was that like, yo, I'm not trying to get violent, you're not trying to get violent, but we must acknowledge this conversation. There's a disagreement. Right. That we must acknowledge, and we don't, neither of us may want to pass this point, so we have to come to a resolution.
Yeah, it's not like the Wild West where it's like you're in my spot. And then like 6-shooter, like I'll see you at noon and just shoot each other. Shout out to Joe Rogan. No advertisement. But I was flipping through my phone on the YouTube Shorts, and I saw that he did something similar to this topic, where the like when arguments would ensue. Back in I can't say, a couple hundred years ago maybe. Like America's really just doing its thing. You know what I'm saying? Men would have debates, and when there were disagreements, or when it had to be shown as a just a proof of who's right or who's wrong, they would duel. You know, the 10 steps out, turn around, pull it out, and bang. Like, really? Some people would unfortunately die from that. But we're not in that. What I'm getting at is we're not in that day and age where we just need to prove who's the strongest, or who is the most deadliest, or who's the most accurate with such weapon of choice. But, you know, men can have a civil conversation. Men can figure things out for themselves when they ask the right questions. Yeah.
And it comes to the point of, like, you know what you said, being okay with disagreeing. Be okay with that person. You may not agree with at the point, but you can put your differences aside with.
It's called a debate for a reason. It's not called war by words.
Yeah. Because we've definitely had some war by words, for sure.
Of course. And at the end of the day, like, I have to see you again, obviously. You're on the same campus. You're in my phone. But we're in the same friend circle.
And not only that, like, outside of the conversation, I value you. So I have to adopt that value into the conversation. I'm not going to say something that's going to disrupt our friendship whatsoever. Off of, like, maybe who's paying for dinner at this moment. Like,
that's very pity. Like, if we both can't afford it, you know, like, if you take 100%, I take 100%. All right, final, boom, we'll split the bill. You know, I don't care if you ordered more things than me. We split the bill, because I sure know I'm not washing dishes.
Because, I mean, I remember this one content creator. I wish I could reference him, but they keep deleting the videos. Like, they said, if it's not going to matter within, like, a week, they don't really care about it.
Of course.
And that's something I've seen without our interactions with that. Like, we value our friendship, so if we may disagree, if it's not going to matter within, like, the next week or whatever, we really don't really care. And although we may go back and forth with each other, which I do think is healthy. It's for sure healthy. Like, having people I can just go back and forth with, like, unchained, unleashed conversation whatsoever.
And those are one of the healthy benefits of holding each other accountable.
Holding each other benefits of brotherhood. Because you can't do that with everybody. You don't know who everybody is.
Oh, yes.
But the fact that we've balled together, we've like been in classes together, we just been bored out of our minds together.
We've laughed together.
Yo, the fact
We've
that
been in awe together.
yo, for sure. And it's in like, yo, this is somebody I could really just like, yo, I could kick it with whatsoever. I'm not afraid to let loose or just be around.
Right. You know, we'll say very outlandish things, but we know we're coming from a place of either empathy or just for giggles.
For giggles.
For giggles, of course, man. You know, you got to get in a couple of those once in a while.
Sure. It's definitely a path and an aspect of manhood that I truly appreciate.
Of
like
course.
friendship, brotherhood with you, it truly is appreciated, man, for sure.
And of course, any time of the day.
Man. Like, literally, this man you would call me just randomly.
Oh, yeah. What you doing?
Hey, what you doing at the moment? I was like...
What you doing? You doing what you supposed to be doing? I know you said you weren't going to do something
Hey, man.
4 months ago. Are you doing it?
And it's just random. Like, I don't expect this man to call. I was like, oh, you just calling. Like, damn. Do I have a reason not to answer? Whenever you call, I'm like, do I have a reason for you not answer the phone?
No, if you call me 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm picking up.
Yeah, that's one of the few people
Oh, yes.
who call me. I'm like, yo, I'm sleeping now, but what's up?
Oh, yeah. Like, granted, I'm at work. I'm, like, neck deep in work, things I got to do. If I see you call and I miss it, 30 seconds to 5 minutes later, I'm calling you back. And if you don't pick up, all right, I'm going to leave a message. Hey, you called. Get back to me whenever you get a chance.
And not only that, even if I call you and you don't pick up, I know it's like, yeah, you got something to do tomorrow.
Right.
We'll get back to this later. It's like we will get to this conversation, whatever.
Right.
And yo, that's something that's truly appreciated, yo.
Mm-hmm.
But really, thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah, it's my pleasure.
This has been an awesome conversation. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Not only did it feel awesome, it felt healthy.
Yeah.
Felt constructive.
2 years in the making, people. 2 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
But yo, tell them where you can find you.
Not really on Instagram like that. I'm not gonna disclose my number. Let's see. Where you can find me is I do work at a restaurant called Fresh Kitchen. That is my profession. I do consider myself a culinary chef. Expertise undecided. But if you guys want to taste some good, healthy food, go ahead, give Fresh Kitchen just give it a visit. Just give it a visit.
Hey, for sure, man. This man is a good cook. This man is like giving me game that I have not applied, I never asked for whatsoever. He's just been excited to just tell me.
Oh yeah,
And likewise with photography and video, but I'll just be rambling.
All right, like, and it's not gibberish at the end of the day. You're learning something from someone you hold accountable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, someone you can trust.
It's something that's well needed. Like, people just go off the riff with.
Right, and it's now when that situation arises, like now I've got information on technology I didn't have.
Never even asked for.
Of course, it's just those random acts of knowledge, bro, that you just bestow on someone.
Got you.
Going back to the whole thing, we're actually opening a store in Miami.
Oh, for sure?
Yeah, I think around Midtown.
Freaking
So all you Miami goers, there'll be Fresh Kitchen. Just look it up on Google. Unfortunately, I don't have any contacts or business cards with me.
Hey man, Google is your people's. Google is where you find information.
Google University and YouTube University.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But thank you guys for tuning into this conversation. It's been a great conversation that I love, but I'm pretty sure that you love it both. So if you have any thoughts, any disagreements, anything you want to say it down in the comments. Leave a like on the video, of course. But I'll see you guys with the next one. As I say with everything, I wish you all the best. With the rest, God bless.